In this video, I'm going to take you through the $100,000 December formula and how you can crush selling fitness programs over the festive period. There are some huge mistakes people make when it comes to selling fitness programs in December, January, and throughout that festive period. And if you nail these strategies down, which I'm going to reveal to you in this video, you will make more money than you ever thought possible. Now, firstly, if we're going to talk about how we dominate New Year sales, December has a huge misconception about it, that people will not be buying fitness programs, people will be waiting for January, but I'm going to tell you a dirty little secret. The reality is, it's actually easier to sell programs in December than it is at the start of January. Why? Because people who are actually competent individuals understand that come January 1st, oh, I need to buy a fitness program. No, they actually think a couple of weeks in advance, I'm a bit out of shape, I'm a bit ashamed of how I looked at the office Christmas party, maybe I need to deal with this, or maybe I should go and speak to this Charlie Johnson guy who's a fitness coach, he can help me. So we really want to be positioning ourselves really, really well at this time. Now, waiting until January 1st is a massive mistake. So having this dialed in is what I'm going to show you now with this blueprint. So now what we're going to look at is the timeline blueprint in terms of December. So we've got a couple of different phases here. Phase 1, December 1st to 15th. And this is basically warm up your audience. So you want to give insane amounts of value. So essentially what we're doing in my own business is we're doing what we call 12 days of giftness. For 12 days straight, we are going to be putting up Instagram reels that have a call to action with something super valuable we can give to our clients to help them, essentially lead magnets. So this is the law of reciprocity. We're giving value, where people almost feel they're so indebted to us at this point that they have to sign up as a client. The second phase of December we'll look at, December 16th to 22nd, the anticipation phase. In this phase, we're really looking to try and hype up about getting in shape in January 2025. Building up that anticipation, building up the anticipation for Christmas, and also maybe talking about some of the pain points like people overeating, not feeling as the shape they want to be at maybe their family Christmas dinner, all these type of things. And this is when you start to then drop the 23rd to 24th, just before Christmas, the trigger point. Now, the trigger point is essentially where you're going to announce you've got this new offer that's coming out as your flagship program for January to help people get in shape. It's going to be available to launch from Christmas Day until New Year's Eve. Now, you may well ask, why would you do that on Christmas Day on the 25th? Would you like to know an interesting statistic? As my former career as an estate agent, the highest day for property searches online, would you like to know, is actually the 25th of December. Because the reality is most people are bored at home on their phones and they're actually scrolling social media and getting zoned into all that type of bullshit. A lot of these people will then see your offer. They'll be maybe slightly ashamed as they've overeaten at Christmas dinner. They're not maybe in the shape they want to be. Maybe they've been to a family Christmas dinner and haven't got a partner. Big pain point. They want to have their own family. And this is why this is like the golden window to convert. So the 25th to the 31st, and this is where you want to put a lot of social proof up, a lot of calls to action, and focus on the basics in your business of booking calls and closing calls. The next part of this we're going to talk about is the content strategy. So what to post in each phase. So if we flick back and we look at December the 1st to the 15th, I spoke about our 12 days of giftmas, it giving extreme value. So this is initially what we want to focus on. Now, when we come back and we look at talking about the anticipation phase, essentially what we're going to be doing there is building up hype about like, what would next year be like? Goal setting for next year. What have you maybe not achieved this year? What have you achieved? Just get people to start to like visualize. You can even put posts up talking about the importance of visualization in terms of having an important mindset. Now, the trigger point post could be a story of you, of like the epiphany bridge moment of when you realized the one thing for you to get in shape was to hire a coach and how maybe you did your first photo shoot. That's what happened to me. So that would be my trigger point moment. Or maybe me overhearing my parents talk about me being fat as a kid. That was a trigger point that's like a skeleton in the closet, right? What's the trigger point that you've had in your own journey that you could put on social media, and then you can ask people to have their own trigger point, because this is what's going to pull them. Now, when we talk about the max converting period from Christmas Day basically to New Year's, that's essentially where you want to be hammering social proof. Now, we're going to hammer social proof with story-based content examples. So these can be your own stories. Like I spoke about myself, my epiphany bridge moment was the first time I had six-pack abs is when I hired a coach and did a photo shoot because I had pressure and had someone to keep me accountable. Would be a good piece of content for you to make. You can talk about other people's results. So your clients' stories. Here's how my client Jane went from average Jane to GI Jane by the end of 2024, for example. We do this in combination with before and after photos that are well positioned. I would try and do these in carousels if you've got lots of client results, so you can put multiple different avatars into those with really strong copy that converts. If you haven't already, go and check out my Black Friday video about how to crush that month. If you haven't, because I go through in detail how to structure a great before and after photo. And lastly is an offer structure, which is essentially what are we going to try and pitch these people? How are we going to try and present it? What are you going to call the program? New year, new you. How are you framing this? What's the type of terminology? But this is really going to be specific to your audience. Now, if we look at the important thing next is price psychology. If we think about it from the client's perspective, you're trying to push them, it's the start of a new year, the new you, new year hype. The reality is what we want to be really pushing is selling longer programs. You don't want to be selling monthly, you don't want to be selling 12 weeks, you want to do a minimum of 6 to 12 months. So if we look at price psychology, this is a really important thing to look at. So we want to be selling 6 to 12 month programs, main focus, because we're looking to push people in the new year phase. You're not selling the monthly programs, you don't want to sell 12-week programs. Now, this is why we don't want to be looking at doing like standard discounts, all this type of stuff. This is all about how you position your offer. And this is where you need to create the right price that converts. So for us in 2023, we had a 73% close rate at these prices. And that was doing 2K for 6 months or 3K for the year. Now, ideally, we want to push people for longer term programs, which is why essentially with that offer of £2,000 for 6 months or £3,000 for a year, the second 6 months is basically a 50% discount. Now, if you have your business set up well and you have, say, coaches working for you, you should have at least an 80% profit margin on fulfillment, which means you can scale out that type of offer and it doesn't cause any logistical issues. So this is the best pricing I'd recommend for most fitness trainers, but that's really going to depend in terms of your niche. We have some clients, for example, who work in the menopause niche or work with executive men who have slightly older clientele who have higher budgets, therefore can pay more. This as a general broad spectrum would be where I would look. Now, the next thing we're going to talk about is sales systems. Where there is gold in your business, where no one goes digging, is actually following up old leads. So people who have been in DM conversations, who've had sales calls and maybe not closed, or even former ex-clients who've left. Because do you think they're gonna stop wanting to get in shape again? Probably not, right? So if we're gonna follow up firstly in DMs, you need to be using Meta Business Suite with a tagging system. And if you're not, you're essentially a rookie at this point and you're leaving loads of money on the table. This is one of the key strategies we help our clients with at 7-Figure Scaling Systems. And I'm gonna show you the type of template message we actually use to follow up now. So it would be something like this. Hey Name, we chatted a little while back about your fat loss goals and I just wanted to follow up. Are you thinking about kicking things off in 2025 and achieving results next year? Have you managed to make any progress this year? Now, if you wanted to take this to the next level, what you could do, you could actually do this in a voice note format. Record the voice note once, have your setter send this out to people. Again, incredibly effective. The second thing we'll talk about is an email launch sequence. So I would position that particularly over the buying period. We're gonna go from Christmas Day till New Year's. And have that scarcity, urgency mindset to try and really pull people through. And the last thing I mentioned here is in terms of angles. Now, what do I mean by angles? What's your offer and the type of person you work with? So for example, if you work with younger guys who want to get jacked to go to Ocean Club Ibiza in the summer, then that's probably the type of messaging you need to be putting out, right? So you need to be saying that you need to be getting in shape right now and start training now to get in shape for June, July, August. You can't start in March and expect to look like a Greek god at that point. It's not enough time. So you think about who your specific avatar is, what the languages of they use, and what it is they really want. Having the angle super defined is very, very important. Now, if we look at some common mistakes that also come up in this, what do most people do wrong? Now, most people, when it comes to trying to sell over the festive period, firstly, they believe you can't sell in Christmas. No one will actually buy programs in December. You need to wait until January. That's a complete fallacy. Secondly is people don't actually put any time into their business. Now, you don't need to work every hour God send in December. I traditionally tend to work the least in December of any month of the year. It's my birthday, December the 18th, if anyone wants to wish me happy birthday. And you also have Christmas and you also have New Year, so I tend to be traveling a lot as well. But what you need to do is you plan all your promotional stuff, your content, you have your business structured well, is what we teach our clients at 7-Figure Scaling Systems, to remove the golden handcuffs so you're not the one doing everything and pressing all the buttons. You build the business to build your lifestyle, to do the things you want, to provide for the people you want to provide for. You don't become a slave to it, which is what I see with most fitness coaches. Now, next thing I want to talk about is how to avoid discount wars. You don't want to be talking about discounting into January. This is when people want to buy the programs the most. People have the highest desire to get in shape in January. You do not need to discount. You just need to position and frame yourself really, really well. And lastly, I want to talk about one mistake that cost me $20,000 last year. And that essentially was the follow-up messages I showed you here. Our team didn't actually execute. And I only found this out like probably 2-3 weeks afterwards, when I couldn't understand why revenue didn't hit the target I expected, because I hadn't clearly communicated in terms of the exact message that needed to be done. They didn't understand. So one of the most important things you can do is to bring that up message up again, is have a really clear expectation and the exact type of message you want someone to use, literally given the bulletproof template. And that's what we help our clients do. A great example of this is actually our client Cesar. So that you can see on the screenshot here, this is from January 4th of 2024. So over the December months last year, he went from having a business making $10,000 a month to $46,000 a month in 6 weeks over the Christmas period, using a lot of the strategies we've taught him in terms of how high ticket programs, booking loads of sales calls, and how to run promotions and create killer content. And if you want success just like Cesar, to build your business, to get time freedom, location freedom, financial freedom, I'd like to invite you to book in a free call to find out exactly how we can help you. If you hit the link below this call, we'll run you through the whole process in terms of where your business is at, audit everything inside out, find what the one big lever is we can pull to get you to the next level in 2025 and help you achieve everything you wanted. So if you hit the link below this video, we can run you through that and we can see if you're a good fit to also work with us and we can take you to the next level. If you took value from the video, smash the like button, comment below any questions and hit subscribe, and see you next video very soon.